Hi there. It's Change Tuesdays. So great to have everyone in the room. I'm going to just pin something that's going in our comments. Goodness, my hair. Unlearn who they told you to be. So that's what we're going to chat about today. I was trying to connect my other camera. Okay, cool. So I'm going to pin that. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the room. It's so lovely to have all of you here as everybody comes in. Remember that this is only a 15-minute Q&A session, and that's what it's targeted at being. So it's all about asking questions. It's all about us engaging. So if you're in the room or you are watching this, please let me know. Give me a hey, give me a hi. Zanele, if you are in the room, and I will say hi back and let you know that I appreciate you and I appreciate your time for being in this room. So today we are talking about unlearning who people told us to be. And this extends beyond just individuals. This extends to also society. It extends to our family members. It extends to the narratives as well that we are told we have to sort of fit into. So this is a very interesting idea. And I have a room on Clubhouse that I run on Wednesday. If you're on Clubhouse, please do join me there. That I run every Wednesday, 6 p.m. UK time, 7 o'clock South African time. That is titled Unlearning Who They Told You to Be. So it's this idea that we are really required to peel away the layers that people tell us a lot of the time, or that society defines we are supposed to define ourselves against. So this idea of unlearning who they told us to be is really raising our levels of awareness and going, okay, so I understand that these are some of the demands that have been put on me around how I'm supposed to show up in my life, who I'm supposed to be, even how I'm supposed to act. What are some of the things that I'm supposed to say? And when you unlearn that, what you do is you peel away those layers. You start to raise your awareness. You start to ask new questions. You reassess what it is exactly that you want to do. How do you want to show up? Because what happens a lot of the time is that the individuals that we come into contact with only see things from their perspectives, and that's the case with everyone. So when we come face to face with those individuals, we must always understand that the things that they say, the encouragement that they give, the advice that they share, the recommendations that they make are all based on their very subjective perspective that they have themselves. It's not that they're saying they completely understand, because no one can really ever understand who you are and where you come from. And so when someone is giving a recommendation of any sort, it really is from their very own perspective. And I think that for me, understanding that and helping a lot of my clients to understand that very idea has been something that's very important, because it opens up this idea that regardless of what happens, we need to keep that in mind, that all suggestions are based off of a perspective. Everything is subjective. And with that subjectivity, then it means that we are free to take up our own perspectives, to own our own stories, to own our own truths, as we say sometimes. And I think that for me has been something that's very liberating to understand, but also to practice. So what might that look like in a practical sense? So in a practical sense, some of the ways that you could look at that is through the eyes of going, okay, so I'm in a particular situation and I have an understanding, or I can see or relate to what people are saying. But for me, what does it mean? What does it mean for me if I'm in a situation and someone says something that I feel is offensive? What does that look like to me? Because if I understand where other people are coming from as much as I can, remember, I can't exactly empathize to that degree because I'm not that person. No matter how much I might want to sympathize, but I'm not that person. And so understanding that also means that I have to put myself back into my own place and go, okay, so from my very own perspective, what does that look like? What does that look like for me? What does that mean I have to do to show up better? Or what are the different ways that I have to then respond to this situation based on my own beliefs, my values, showing compassion to myself, but also really challenging myself to see things differently in this situation, and then to show up in a beautiful way that makes sure that I'm growing, I'm consistently expanding. So I want to just encourage that we get questions in the room. Hey, sisters, you know how much I love you, babe. You are like the best thing on the planet. I just absolutely love you. So if anyone has any questions, please, as we go on with the conversation, we only have 15 minutes, which is why I wish this could go on for so much longer. But if you have any questions, this is intended to be a very engaging, hi there, an engaging session. So let's talk. What are some of the things that you feel you are going through at the moment, you've just been thinking about as you've been going through your day? And this is the thing, like working with individuals during the time of COVID-19, everyone's going, yo, Zanele, the amount of transitions I'm going through at this time, it's just, there's just a lot going on, because not only are we transitioning at work, guys, where you're changing functions, things are going haywire, maybe you change leaders, but also in our personal lives. Think about all of the changes we're making. So many of us are moving house, we're changing relationships, or whatever it is that's happening, and that can be so complicated a lot of the time. And I just want to, on the story of changing house or moving homes, I recently did a room on this on Clubhouse. And one tip, and this, you've probably heard me share this before, but one thing that I'm consistently sharing with individuals in this space is this idea of taking something with you. And what I find is beautiful about this tip is that it doesn't just apply to moving homes, but it applies with every new opportunity. Take something with you from there. If it's in the case of moving homes, take maybe a flower that used to grow in the garden of the old home and take it with you to the new house. Or, peel of paint or something that will help you to move into the new environment successfully, and helps you really go, okay, so I have something from there. I haven't completely detached myself. Because to tell you guys a secret, what happens with me still to this time, and this is this idea that the places where we used to be are still so much a part of us, and they're so interlinked with our identities. So what happens with me is that I still dream of our old house that we moved out of more than 10 years ago. Every single time that my subconscious mind thinks of the place home, it literally goes back to that old house and will touch base with that home in my mind, even though we haven't lived there in what feels like forever. And so that's the funny thing about how we attach our identities to who we previously used to be, or the frameworks, or the spaces where we used to be based. So I think that that's something to remember. And so as we transition from one way of doing things, and I'm finding a lot of parents in this space as well, transitioning from one way of doing things, remember all of the lessons that the previous opportunity has taught you. What are the things that are going to make you stronger for the next position? And when you can transfer those learnings, transfer those lessons, transfer that identity, then you can be better off, because then there's this less of this relapse from one to another. All right, Sizzles, I see you say, I'm struggling to adjust and align to this changing world. It's more my business than my personal life. Oh my goodness, right. That is such a good one. And I think a lot of individuals are doing this as well, especially because what I've noticed is that a lot of us actually during 2020, 2021 jumped onto the entrepreneurship boat, if I can call it that, or into entrepreneurship. So what we find we were confronted with is that entrepreneurship is actually so different from being someone who's led in an organization, or parts of a team in an organization, or even a manager in a team. Because entrepreneurship really means that your thinking needs to shift. And I always say the entrepreneurship mindset is a problem-solving based mindset. It's a mindset of being closer to the client and the customer, being end user centric. It's all about testing. There's so many different things around empathy and being purpose driven that are parts of the entrepreneurial mindset. And so, Sizzles, what I would say is that as you deal with that transition, one of the things it's going to help you, if you go over to my Instagram, you'll see on my bio, there's a link there for my cheat sheet. I call it my cheat sheet, but it's just a guide for anyone who's going through a change. And so You can download that firstly. And then secondly, understand what are the different things that pinpoint an entrepreneurial mindset. And I think I did a TikTok video on this, is that the entrepreneurial mindset, it's different from working for someone. It's more like working with someone and heading up the business yourself. The first thing that you must understand is that if you are running a business, no one is going to be as passionate about the business as you. Unfortunately, that's what happens. And when you're an entrepreneur, you need to understand that as much as you want your individuals that are working within your team to sort of support the business and think about the business as their own and invest in it, they won't, and you can't expect them to invest in it as much as you. The other thing that I will tell you now in this space, and I'm happy to engage about this later on, but the other thing that I will tell you is really important as an entrepreneur. Focus on the things that need you, and then understand that you can't do everything. So leverage your strengths, everything you can do, focus on your strengths, and then outsource your weaknesses. 2021 for me, Sizzles, I'll tell you, has been my year of learning to outsource. I am learning to delegate so many things, to outsource so many of my weaknesses to people that are strong in those areas. So if you know you're not an admin person, I'm not a big admin person. I mean, I love taking notes and stuff, but when it comes to facilitating all of these databases and lists, that's not my strength. And so what I'm teaching myself this year is to outsource that to someone who can do it faster, be more efficient, and do it better than me. And I'm finding it's adding so much time to me to do the things that my business needs. So that's another thing that I think hopefully will really help you. Outsource your weaknesses and then zero in on your strengths. Once you know what your strengths are, as the entrepreneur, as the billboard or the face of the business, you want to really be focusing on expansion, growing the business, and really selling the business in a different way. So I think that would be your main points. But let me know how the journey is going. I love the transition of moving from corporate into entrepreneurship. It's always a really exciting one. And a lot of people are working through those, and a lot of my clients are going through that one. So please reach out to me. Let me know how that goes. And if the guide helps you, let me know if the guide helps you, because it runs through my LEAP principles that I recommend to clients that I work with, whether they're organizations and individuals. And I call it the LEAP. It's broken up into LEAP, 4 different parts of the framework that help anyone to transition. So I see there's another question, XP Life Now. Please let me know what your real name is. I always, you're so supportive of me and my content. Please let me know what your name is so that every time I address you, I can address you by your name. I see you say you love the idea of outsourcing the weaknesses. Absolutely. I think, but let me know, what are your thoughts on it? How have you experienced it? I see you say, I'm in the process of shifting my mindset to entrepreneurship. Yes. Guys, I'm a keen supporter of the entrepreneurial mindset, not just entrepreneurship, because this is where I think most of us make the mistake. We think that entrepreneurial mindset is about being an entrepreneur, but not necessarily. There are people that still work for other people, but have an entrepreneurial mindset, because I think that that's what it is. An entrepreneurial mindset is the mindset of solving problems. It's the mindset of being end user centric, empathetic, testing, hypothesizing, this iterative process. And what I find that I'm getting a lot of organizations, bye Sizzles, so great to have you. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Lots and lots of love. We're going to end off in 2 minutes as well. So I find a lot of organizations that ask me to come in to assist them. It's with this idea of getting as many of their team members to build the entrepreneurship mindset, because they've started to understand that if we can get as many individuals in our teams to think like entrepreneurs, the better we're going to do as an organization and as a team. When each and every person, whether they're on the shop floor or they are in the C-level office or whatever it is, if we can get them to think like entrepreneurs, they're going to help us to build the business in a different way. So I hope that helps. Mainly as it pertains to time blocking and time management, that is a great area to be focusing on, because I think if we can manage our time better, we can do a lot more, we can stretch a lot more. And what I've found, Stefan, is that managing your time means that you are smarter about what you do. And I need to bring in something that's completely unrelated to what we're talking about, but I think it's really important. This idea of people wanting to work through the night. If you're a night owl, I can understand this. Oh, you meant to your Instagram. Okay, cool. Please do reach out to me, Sizzles. So what I find, like I was saying, Stefan, is that a lot of people will go, and if I'm a hustler, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm not gonna sleep. I'm gonna sleep 2 hours a night, and that makes me really hardworking. And I just always go, when in the world did not sleeping enough become something that's cool, guys? Because if you are smart about your time, and this is my perception, this is just my perception, because if you are smart about your time, you will optimize every single hour that you are awake. And when you sleep, you will sleep peacefully, because you understand that sleep is a weapon when it comes to productivity. If you can get good quality sleep at night, you will slay during the day. And I used to do a lot of work with the resilience expert, and I know the power of sleep, guys. Please sleep, because your body and your mind needs you to sleep. That's how we get all of our learnings from during the day to go into our long-term memory. Our brains need us to sleep. We need good quality REM sleep. So please do sleep. Don't sacrifice that. It doesn't mean you're more of a hustler if you don't sleep. It doesn't mean that. It's all about productivity, just like Stefan is saying. If you can optimize the hours that you are awake, you are better off. So don't mind everyone who says that you mustn't sleep. But that's just my perception, just saying. Okay, I see there's another comment. That reminds me of extreme ownership. Everyone takes ownership of their level and are empowered to. I love that. I really, really love that. If at every level of the organization, and if you're an entrepreneur who's starting a business and you're looking to build more people into your business, that's a good perspective to have. That at every single level, I want the individuals who are going to be part of my team, part of my staff, to have an entrepreneurial mindset. That means everyone at every level is problem solving the problems that they work with directly. Then that's a good one. But let's also remember that we are all dealing with the same problems at the end of the day that are affecting our end user, wherever you choose to put your end user. And I was working with a team once that wasn't customer facing, and I asked them if they understood who their avatar was, and they were completely blank. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's really important that wherever you are in the business, you understand who your end user is, because everything, guys, everything you contribute to the business is for the good of the end user at the end of the day. And the more you can zero in on who your end user is, who your customer is, exactly who they are, that avatar needs to be so specific, down to age, down to what they like, everything. And if you can understand that, you can better serve in the business as you can the client specifically. We have run out of time. We're going over time. I see Stephanie say, I'm a fan of done by 1, meaning done working by 1 p.m. Oh, I love that. 1 p.m. I wish. You need to teach me how to do that. Otherwise, thank you so much, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure being with you for these 15 minutes. Next time, I look forward to a continuous conversation just like this one. Please reach out to me on Instagram. If you haven't had an opportunity to ask your question, head over to my Instagram bio, download the free guide, Hack Your Transition, and also DM me if you've got any questions or you'd love to work with me one-on-one or in my mentorship program. Please also reach out to me. I can't wait to connect with you and to help you out on your journey. Otherwise, it's been myself, Untitled Chapter, the Unlearning Lady, and I will see you guys again in 2 weeks' time for our next Change Tuesday's conversation. Thank you so much, Stefan. Thank you, everyone who engaged on the chat. Sizzles, I hope you're still in the room. It was so lovely to see you. You are absolutely amazing. Bye for now, guys. I love reading your mind.